dog open, you'll notice that he's on his own background layer. What we need to do is we need to move him over to a new document. So make a new document, file new. And 8.5 by 11, 150. Double check that you're on inches. And you're just going to move the dog over. Drag and drop him. Do a Command T. Make him a little bit bigger. Hold the Shift key and drag it from a corner. That keeps it proportional. Then hit return when you're happy with it. Okay, so now notice how when you bring him over to a new document, he's on his own layer, layer 1. To zoom in, it's Command plus. To zoom out, it's Command minus. What's really nice with Photoshop is if you have a selected area, so you have marching ants, when you use your brush tool, you cannot go outside of your selected area. So you can't like color outside the lines. But with this dog, if I get my magic wand and I go to select his tail, notice how the marching ants go out. And that's because if you look closely at his tail, that is not an enclosed area. All right, there's some gaps here. So what we have to do is we have to get our brush tool, and we've got to paint on layer 1. We've got to paint in between those gaps. Your brush tool is on the toolbar over here. Now there's 2 brushes. There's the art history brush, or the history brush tool, and the regular brush. So make sure you're getting the brush tool, not the one that has the arrow. When you click on your brush, you'll get all of the options for your brush up here. This drop down is where all of your different types of brushes are. Some of you will have a lot of brushes because I'm going to show you how you can download different brushes. But for right now, we want just the simple hard edge. That's what this one is. This is the hard edge, and this is a soft edge. We want the hard edge brush. On your keyboard, look at your keyboard. You've got a left bracket and a right bracket. The square brackets underneath the delete key and the plus and equals. The left bracket makes your brush smaller. The right bracket makes it bigger. The hand, if you hold down the space bar, you can get your hand and then you can move your document around. You can also obviously use your sliders here. What we need to do is we need to paint with black. So go grab the black. The shortcut to get your default colors, to get black and white in your foreground and background, is D on the keyboard. So if you just hit D, that gives you your default colors. And you are going to just paint those gaps in. Make sure you get all of them. And you know it's good when you get your magic wand and you click and the marching ants stay inside the dog. They don't go outside. All right, now we're going to color the dog in, but we're going to use texture. So we're going to make it look like he has fur. To do that, grab your magic wand, and now when you click inside of his tail, you should get all of his body. Grab the brush tool. Your colors here. We want a brown, so go grab a brown. And then the brush we're going to use, it paints with both the foreground color and your background color. So you need to switch both of these colors to a brown. Now an easy way, the keyboard shortcut, if you hit X on your keyboard, hit X, see what happens with your colors. So this is a shortcut as you're over here in your swatches palette and you're trying to figure out what colors. instead of having to take your mouse all the way over to your toolbar and switch it, you can hit X on the keyboard and then go choose a different color. So you just want 2 shades of brown in your foreground and your background. Get your brush tool. The brush that we want is brush 112. It looks like a piece of fur. And again, you can make your brush bigger or smaller with your bracket. And when you paint, notice how you cannot go outside the lines. So that's makes it very easy to color it. Now notice how it's not getting the back legs, like that leg or that leg, because those are not selected. So you'll have to go in again with your wand tool, W on the keyboard, select the back legs, hold the shift to add, get the brush. B is the shortcut for the brush tool, and you can color in the back legs. The next step for coloring this dog in is we're going to color his tongue red. Again, you want to get your magic wand tool, select his tongue. We're still on the drawing layer. Choose a red, and that goes to your foreground. It's Option Delete if it goes to your foreground color, and then it's Command Delete if it goes to your background color. And then deselect, Command D, can zoom in. We're going to hold the Shift key to add to your selection. We're going to color in his eyes, and Option Delete. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to give this dog a background, and we're going to learn about our gradient tool. So go to background in your layers palette, click on the background. In your toolbar, go down, it's one below the eraser. It's your gradient tool. Some of you may have your paint bucket. They share the same flyout. If you have your paint bucket tool showing, just click on it, get the flyout, get your gradient, and it shows you right there what the shortcut is for your gradient tool, which is G. When you have your gradient tool, you've got all of your options for the gradient up here. You need to click on the drop down, choose. On mine, it's the top left, which is foreground to background. So you need to find where that is on your gradient options. So foreground to background. We want linear, which is the very first one. Make sure the mode is set to normal. Opacity is 100%, and do not have your reverse checked. All right, the colors. It's choosing the colors that you have in your foreground and your background. So go change those to like a dark blue, and then again hit X on the keyboard to swap, so you don't have to take your cursor or your mouse all the way down there. And so you've got a light blue and a dark blue. To use your gradient, you're going to draw a line just from the top down to the bottom. And that creates a gradient with the entire layer. Why, though, is there white? What's happening here with the white? It's around the dog. So what we have to do is go back to your dog layer, get your magic wand, and select the white. And then hit delete. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put this dog so it doesn't look like he's floating, so we're going to put him on grass. We want the grass to be underneath the dog, but above the background. So in your layers palette, we want it sandwiched between layer 1 and the background. So with your layers, whenever you make a new layer, it always goes on top of the layer that you're on. What you need to do is go to your background layer, click on your add layer icon, which is right there in your layers palette. And there is a brush that is a grass brush. It's brush number 134. Choose 2 shades of green. Make your brush bigger. And now we're going to do the grass. And since we are underneath the dog in your layers palette, you are not going to be painting on top of him. And then there's also some other brushes. There's a leaf brush. There's a star brush. But you can go and grab like the leaf and add some more elements to your coloring page. And I put this on a new layer because if I don't like it, I can just delete that layer. Like, that looks really bad to me, so I'm going to delete it. Now I'm going to try again. Make sure up here, this is like the flow is like if you had a spray paint can. So I realized there my flow was not, full. So I'm going to change that to 100%. I'm going to try the leaves again, and that looks a lot better. Maybe too big. So now it's a dog and a nice fall day. And if you want some leaves to go on top of the dog, make a layer on top. Don't do it on the dog, because if you make a mistake, you're on the dog layer. And always it never hurts to make a new layer. Okay, so if you wanted some leaves on top of them, just make a new layer. And if you don't like it, you can delete it.